on spiritual teachers and personal authority. I wanted to explore this by starting with going through my own fumbling in this area, because when I started with my awakening, I had already, through my own experiences, gone through a deterioration of my whatever there already was, my sense of self-worth and self-trust. So when I found certain teachers that gave me a different perspective, and it was helpful, it helped me grow a lot, but the way I latched on to the teachings, that turned out to be unhealthy, because I was putting the teachers that I found, and there were many different ones, but the ones that I found, I sort of put them on a pedestal where whatever they knew was better than anything I could possibly ever know by myself. So there probably were even times where I felt something different by myself, but I disregarded my own inner knowing for whatever they were saying, because they probably knew better in my own view, because they had done their work, they had more experience than me, and they had probably studied more, and they had access to resources or people around them that allowed them to know more. But I got to learn more in this through a set of synchronicities that just happened in one day, where the teachers that I used to look at like, oh, these people just know everything, right? I saw them, I got to see their humanity in a way. Not that they were where I got to see their humanity in a way where they were, whatever they preached, they were not following that 100%, or I got to see something where it might even seem hypocritical if we were looking at it in a negative lens. But at the end of the day, it helped me realize that the people that we see this way, they are also human. They have their own flaws, their own darkness, and even they might have learned all of these things that they can share, and it's a wonderful thing that we all get to share information and exchange ideas and share different perspectives to help each other learn. But that doesn't suddenly make a person more somehow superior than the rest. And that was a very humbling reminder of that aspect of learning. And that is what I wanted to talk about today, because a lot of the times I have also observed this when you look at internet, and there are lots of people who are sharing their experience and what they have learned, and people follow them in a way where they start disregarding what their own inner voice may have to say, and what their own personal authority might even be like, or maybe in fear and in trying to search for a sense of security, we may look to these people and then completely forget about ourselves, because that helps us feel safe that someone else knows, and then someone else has that responsibility of making these choices on what kind of perspective we are to follow for understanding the world that we are living in. So And so I wanted to explore this as a way to show that there needs to be a balance. I'm not saying looking at different perspectives is wrong. There's benefit in that, obviously. But keeping a balance where we follow our own knowing as well as looking at different perspectives to open our mind further and expand on different ideas. But it's only when we start abandoning ourselves for someone else's information, for someone else's views or ideas, that's when we start to lose alignment with ourselves even more. And this is not just something that's in the area of spirituality, even though that's where I got to see it the most, but this can be found in any area of life where we follow an authority or an expert and we sort of rid ourselves of the responsibility of knowing or even trying to find answers that we can align with best by following someone else who we imagine knows better and that they would have all the answers, and then we don't need to do the searching and all the work that finding our own answers may require. Because even if you like look at social media, if you start searching up content that's around self-improvement, the algorithm throws a barrage of information at you where it's like, for YouTube, it's like videos that all say, do this, do that, or or there are some self-improvement videos where they're like, you have been doing this your whole life, that's completely wrong, you need to do this. And if you don't have enough confidence in yourself, enough trust in yourself, then it will be pretty easy for someone to get scared into following information that may not even align with them. So I think we need to be much more mindful of that. We're all wired differently and different things will work for us. So trying to standardize things like that and generalizing and expecting that to work for everyone else would not be practical. This is something that's always resonated with me from the moment I listened to it, that when it comes to consciousness, there is no hierarchy. So if you find anything that feels like it's establishing that hierarchy or some sense of superiority or inferiority, especially when it comes to spirituality, that's where you have to be more cautious of how that works with your alignment and how much that something like that could resonate, because life force does not care for hierarchy in that sense. It's because we are all one, and it's a chaotically organized whole instead of anything being higher or lower. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share. So thank you for listening, and may you find your own inner knowing. Thank you.